Hey, thanks for joining me. Today we are going to talk about how to sell a deceased relative's home in another city. Possibly you're the beneficiary or something like that, the executor. And so first I want to just kind of start off by saying you're going to want to start everything early. First, of course, find a real estate agent in the town where you're selling that house. You can start with YouTube or social media looking for an agent. Before you go out there, there's a lot of preparation, and they can start to guide you right from the get-go. I had a recent experience where they came to town, walked in, and didn't have the time they needed for the stuff we're going to talk about. So I assume you'll be going out there, and I would make the goal in the beginning to basically be to empty out the house. It's the best way to sell a house. People can envision them in there. I mean, staging is probably the number one ideal, but in this case where you don't live there, it's not your house, just clearing it out and making it empty. Usually that's done with an estate sale, which is why starting early is good. A good real estate agent will have an estate sale company they work with, or at least a couple of which to call. They might be booked up the time you need it, so just a few that you can kind of touch base with and see if they'll do it. And this may take several weeks for them to get the home all organized for a 3-day estate sale. It's usually on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday being the half price. If you're an estate sailor, you know what I'm talking about. And just to let you know, an estate sale does have to accept the sale to make sure there's enough money there to justify their time, because there's so much work in estate sales. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, when I usually, like I said, it's a couple weeks. They're there organizing the house, laying out the tables, and going and pricing everything. So that takes weeks in itself. And then, of course, getting up to the 3 days. And then, of course, they want to get everything sold, and out of there is usually the end game. And what they don't get sold, then they have to, figure out how to get rid of that. If they do accept the sale, or if they don't accept the sale, you're going to either need to have a garage sale or do what another real estate agent here did. She just moved, and it was funny. I was watching her Facebook page. She's with our company, and basically threw it on Facebook Marketplace. Say it's free, and had a day or a couple days. I don't know what, but it did get all taken care of. So. And then another option is to hire a junk haulers. And this is to come and get the stuff. But the goal really is just to get the house empty before putting it on the market. And sometimes, although not ideal, you can have an estate sale after the house is listed. Like I said, it's not ideal. Most people want to see an empty house, but since we have low inventory, as of the recording of this video, mostly it is a seller's market right now, especially during the normal season of like March or April through August, basically the peak selling time. And now that interest rates have come down a little bit. And of course you can sell any pieces on the local Facebook sites. Like in our case, it's called Wichita Classifieds. And I mean, they have 100 of them. And your agent will hopefully be able to direct you to which sites in your market have the most followers, so you get the most eyeballs on your stuff, so it goes quick, goes easy, and hopefully a few people want it, so you can definitely take full dollar price. But there's so many items usually at this point that you're just hoping, hey, let's just clear it out, type of thing, and make some profit along the way. If the home is in a probate situation, as a recent client of mine was, then you will connect your real estate agent with the lawyer who the client is working with on the probate. The lawyer will have documents that they're going to want to send to title, but don't worry, the realtor, lawyer, and title department will work together on anything anybody needs, any documents. In this case, the case I was just working on, there was an account that the lawyer did ask the client to set up. So we did figure out along the way, when I had asked her, that the money was going to be dispersed from title at closing to this account that the lawyer had the client already set up. So your agent will be in contact with the attorney throughout the transaction, and they will want closing documents at the end. And whatever documents they ask for, the realtor is really good about getting that, and they're all good about working through it together. And in this rare case with my client, they didn't really use electronic communication, so it definitely made things a little bit more difficult. They had an email, which they told me they didn't use, and then they said, here's a phone number, a cell phone number for while we're on the road back, to their hometown. they'll pick up, but when they're at home, call the landline. So, and then, so we're able to work with that email, but then what we ended up doing is connecting with a local title company in her city, since they didn't have, as the older generation may not have printers at home, and not, some are okay to go to Staples and whatnot, print it out, scan it, get it turned back. But in this case, we just set them up with a title company, and they were able to go there and sign throughout the transaction. It was pretty seamless. I mean, the company was great. I would just send it to the lady. I would contact my client. They'd agree on a time or a time frame where they could go and get things signed. And then even at the very end too, for the closing disclosures, a lot of times we have our clients go to UPS type of thing, but I knew with this client, like, you kind of needed a little bit more hand holding, so we did work it out to where they were able to go to the local title company down the street from them and get the closing documents as well. So that's with someone that's, when you're dealing with people that are not tech savvy, it's just a solution. And don't worry, your agent will be able to kind of figure out a solution. I mean, typically we have clients sign electronically, which makes it super easy, but just want you to know that, like I said, realtors will come up with whatever situation you have. Obviously, the goal is at the end, get the house sold, get creative along the way. If not, the typical tried and true stuff works. And you can just work with your real estate agent on this. And if you are enjoying this video, find the information helpful, would love it if you would subscribe and like the video below to see other videos on this channel. Now back to how to sell a home in another state. For the clients I've worked with in this situation, they're always surprised with how smooth it goes. Typically, they only need to come to the house, one time in the beginning, or like in this case, my most recent one, they came for a week. I think some other ones came for several days, drove back. They weren't as far, they could have come back, but we're very grateful that they didn't have to. But really, they just come out for one time for a bit to figure out what's going on, take what they need from the house or what they want from the house. Again, it's, most likely a deceased relative in this case, so there might be some stuff they want, and then the other stuff they just kind of game plan, strategize with your real estate agent as far as what you're going to do and how you're going to get rid of the rest of it. Your real estate agent really is going to be the person kind of helping you out and telling you, hey, in the situations like this is how we typically do it. So once the client goes back home, leaves the state, they don't really have to come out for anything else, like I mentioned. The real estate agent can take care of it, and typically everything else is done through the phone or electronic means, not in this most recent case, but typically it's that way. Once we get a house under contract, and if repairs are requested, then a listing agent will meet the vendors to get bids for this. Many times a listing agent on these types, if it's vacant, will put a combination lockbox on the house. And that's since the sellers aren't local or nearby, it just makes it easier to where if you need vendors to go get bids, they can go put their little combo, get the key out. And then if one is selected from the bids to go back and fix the repair item, they can get back in the house. If it's, if the seller and the buyer agree on that this repair has to be done. Or let's say after the seller has left the state and returned home, if they wanted any touch-ups done to the house, like before putting it on the market, like painting or items that need to be fixed or repaired, the listing agent will work on those items that they've agreed to be done. And so us agents, we have a lot of trade folks that we work with that aren't speed dial that we call and get these things taken care of. And I know at our office, we have the most in this town, 350 agents. And we always are, like, if there's someone that we don't have, that's someone that's tried, true, and trusted that we used before, we'll always ask the other agents in our internal Facebook page. So, but there you have it, kind of in a nutshell. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of how to sell a home. If you are the beneficiary or executor of an estate that's not close in proximity to, obviously if you're in the same state, in the same city, everything's, kind of normal. You can do it, follow a lot of these steps in the same case, but you're closer to the situation, you can handle a lot more. But for those that are out of state, hopefully this gives you a better idea that it's not so taxing. You're not like constantly having to come back out. So anyway, thank you for watching. My contact information is listed in the description of all my videos, and appreciate your time. Have a great day. Reach out to me for any questions regarding this or any other real estate needs. Have a good one.